Hey, what's up everybody? International Master William Paschall here. We're streaming on lichess and Twitch. Let me just get our window capture up. So, there we go. It looks alright. Welcome everyone to my live stream. We're doing Blitz and Rapid Chess here this morning. Casual Blitz and Rapid with the challenges between 5+3 and 7+3. You can challenge me to 5+3, 5+4, 5+5. Any increment between 3 and 5 seconds up until the 7+3. That's the longest time control I'm going to play today. Welcome everyone. Quiet in here. There's nobody awake for my stream yet. There he is, the Asterbait. I think our most faithful follower. Asterbait, no matter what time it is, just don't get in trouble for staying up all night, okay? It's a little earlier for you out there on the west coast, near the west coast of the United States. Let's see, we've got a 9-hour time difference. And it's 10 a.m. here, so it's only 1 a.m. for Asterbait. That's not too bad. But you better go to bed before the end of the stream, man. Decaus. So let me get here on lichess and see if we can get some challenges going on. 5+3 through 7+3. I accidentally clicked the wrong thing here. Alright. Asterbait challenging me. Wow. We haven't had a Blitz or a Rapid challenge from you in a long time, Asterbait, I don't think. Good to see. Don't be shy. Ayestas here. Beat me in the simul yesterday in a very strange way. I got my rook trapped in an endgame. Don't know how I managed to do that. Asterbait 7+3. So JCS it must be around 2 a.m. for you, according to my deep calculations. Alright, Acer. Some people call him Acer. The computer. Good morning, guys. I didn't know where the time went. It was like 10:02, and I resigned too early. I had Bishop F4. This is talking about my simul loss yesterday. I was kind of freaking out because of the time. I was like down to 3 minutes in all my games, and I convinced myself I lost a piece. But it did seem strange that my rook was trapped, you know. I mean, at the time it seemed strange. It had, you know, we had only 2 pieces on the board other than the kings. So, I'm not surprised if I resigned and not lost position. I ended up losing maybe 5 games. The last 2 painfully. The end games against Clash Kid, and I really hope to save one of those end games. 2 close end games. Okay, Asterbait played d5, which stops e4. And this is a principled move. I mean, also e5 is good. Now I'm basically forced to play the King's Indian reverse. I have Bishop f4 attacking your rook. Okay, my rook's on... So I just saw my rook was on b6, and if I played rook c6, you have king d7, right? And then if Bishop f4, you have rook b7. But don't you have... So your king's not on d7 yet. So if you play rook b7 on Bishop f4, then I have rook c8 check. Is that the point? I didn't see that. I'm talking about Asterbait's, not Asterbait, but Ayesta's game from our simul yesterday. I just thought I was losing a piece, but apparently I missed a move. I shouldn't have lost, even though I was down a pawn. I had a very active rook, and his pawn was on the wrong color in an endgame. It was kind of tragic. Alright, but the time does strange things to me. It's not the first time I resigned in a non-lost position. When I lose face, I lose hope, lose faith, I should say. So once again, guys, I apologize for my allergy attacks here in advance. There's a very high pollen count in Hungary, and I've been sneezing constantly and sniffling. So hopefully I won't do that too badly here on the stream. Reverse Grunfeld. Grunfeld. So basically transposing to a Tarash. Knight c3 here, he can take on c4, I would imagine. If knight takes d5, that's fine. Knight takes d5. Yeah, this is a line. It's actually a semi-Tarash. So one of my teammates had a game like this last year. I remember winning nicely. But I don't know. I mean, thinking he played like queen c2 and a3. It doesn't seem all that good, though. Maybe it's a different position. I'm confusing things because I must be thinking of a different position. To be quite honest, I'm getting my positions confused. Because if a3, bishop e7, b4, bishop f6, a3, bishop e7, we'll play a3 first. Not queen c2. Now I threaten b4 with tempo. Do you know in the 50s when whole Argentinian team versus Soviets played the same variation of Najdorf and they all lost to the same trick? I remember something about, you know, like Yuri Lapshin telling that something about that story, some reference to that at some U.S. championship I played in. Maybe he had a game in that variation or something. But I don't really know the story, you know, oddly enough. It's apparently a true story. From Mr. Killy. I'm not really a Najdorf story knower because I don't play the Najdorf. I always tell the story. I wanted to play the Najdorf when I was young, and because of course, you know, Fischer then Kasparov played the Najdorf. But then when I got the latest books on the Najdorf, a couple of them, they were so overwhelming, there was so much theory that I just decided not to play it because it was just too much memorization. And I've kind of let that philosophy guide my opening choices into my maturity. So I've avoided the Sveshnikov and the Najdorf, really the most like two, you know, theoretical Sicilians in the modern era. Okay, you could say the dragon too, but the dragon has never really been quite as accepted as a viable top variation of the Sicilian like the other two. Sveshnikov was slow to be accepted as well, but I think it's legit. Do you play the Taimanov? I don't play the Taimanov. It's probably one of Black's more reliable choices, though. Definitely. All right, what am I doing? Queen c2. Queen c2 is going to expose me to attack here. Huh. He just played e5, which might be quite risky. He did stop one of my plans here, which was to play knight to g5. E3 looks rather slow. So b5, d4, b5, knight d4, take, knight b3. I guess we go for this. Transitioning of the pawn structure. Actually, he can attack. He can defend d4 numerous times, but I can keep the pressure on with the third attacker. So I don't know what he's going to do here. Ultimately, it seems like this pawn becomes weak. He could play d3, feeding the pawn back as a sacrifice, but it's not enough compensation. He is putting up a fight, and it's especially notable because, you know, this is not an opening that he actually plays. He plays with d4 openings. He tries to play normally the Czech Benoni, so he's playing a semi-Tarash. which is something that he's not really used to. Now I guess bishop e5 or bishop e5. Bishop e5 looks like a legit defense. No, I have rook d1, and then if d3 rook takes, it's actually not so easy. Okay, he has bishop e5 followed by maybe a queen move attacking my b pawn. I don't know. My b pawn is pushed up where it's like a little overextended on b5, but I don't know that he has any way to really do anything about that. Oh man, what? Yeah, the chess panda's actually oversleeping. I have to go get him. I didn't almost oversleep, but I woke up a little bit late, and so I was kind of in a rush here. Oh, maybe I should have used my other rook. Left the f2 protected. Is there anything here? Masturbate is putting up a good fight. Now a5, that's a... There's no word to describe that other than random, you know? That is an essentially completely random move. If I play bishop takes d4, he has like a4. Maybe I should play a4 myself and secure that pawn. Not such a stupid idea. Because I was worried about that baby. Plus he's threatening a4 all the time, which is annoying. So we'll just freeze it where we're at right now. And then take the pawn at our leisure. Or leisure, as you prefer. But still, a good fight by Masturbate. You know, at the most he loses a pawn. Has to try to grovel. But I don't like a5, I guess. It turns out it wasn't that bad. He gave himself a little hope for counterplay with a4, but we're shutting that down now. So, Anonymous is here? He was here last night. Yeah. f2. I think I chose the wrong rook in retrospect. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He played queen f6 now. That's a sick move, man. You're focusing on the right idea, but unfortunately, I bishop takes queen, and I don't know that you really have anything there. How bad was the position when he dropped his queen here? All right, before he dropped his queen, pretty bad apparently. I guess knight g4 may have been a bad move, but the engine doesn't buy into his stuff. All right, how about pre a5? How bad is it? Just losing the pawn. Okay, he's basically just down a pawn. All right, let me see what we got here. So back to the challenges. We got lag today. You know, it's funny, my ping is low, but I feel like I have lag. I try to click on stuff. Okay, the Espilin, actually, Espilin is not a subscriber, but I'm taking his challenge by accident. We've got subscriber challenges from Toster and Baleful. All right, I'll take the challenge, even though you're not a subscriber. Because he has been regular here. Another King's Indian attack. All right, let's change it up to an English. I don't want to play the same thing every game. That's not fun. My days are numbered. Baleful's up a couple times from now. Let's see. I like how he taunts me before the games. It's kind of fun. Chess toss around. Let me get the Panda. He was peacefully sleeping. Hey guys, good morning. I have to go get my coffee, okay? Bamboo flavor. I'll be right back. So, while Panda's going down to get his hazelnut bamboo. We'll continue the stream here. You don't think I've ever played a King's Indian attack against you? That's kind of weird. Turkey farm. It's kind of a new thing, honestly. I mean, I always play the King's Indian attack on rare occasions, but this move order knight f3 d5 g3 is something that I've only really started doing, you know, in the last couple of years, 2 years since I started. In the last year or two, yeah, I would say a year and a half. I've been playing this pretty regularly. What's the origin of Indian? Good question. You have to go back to some old chess books for that, I guess. So bishop f4, he's got that e5 move. I don't have a clue exactly either. You thought he was a master of that stuff? What, me? And the King's Indian? And the Indian stuff? I mean, I've always played knight f3, but I used to... Not always. I mean, knight f3 has been a regular feature of my repertoire in the last, like, 20 years, but I never used to play... I never used to play g3 on move 2. I used to play other stuff. Just making it up on the fly. Wow, dude. He instantly played b5. Maybe I should have put my bishop on g5 there. I didn't expect this answer. No, I don't think it has to do with chaturanga. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Indian defenses, obviously we're only talking about knight f6, like d4, knight f6. Okay, this is traditionally called Indian defense. In older books I have, you have interesting feature of, let's say, the opening name. The older books I have from the, I don't know, like the 30s or 40s maybe, would call it just like Indian defense. They wouldn't even differentiate between like King's Indian. In the oldest ones, there's just like Indian defense, so they wouldn't even differentiate between King's Indian and Queen's Indian. It would just be called Indian defense. Then they started to make this differentiation between the different Indian defenses. But maybe JCS, you're onto something with the chaturanga thing. I don't know enough historically about that. Maybe I have no clue. Actually, there's a lot of chess history out there, and we'll have to call Edward Winter to find out a little bit more about it. If he's still alive, whoever he is in reality. So the earliest known use of the term was in 1884, quoting Wikipedia, the expert. I really trust Wikipedia on chess history. The earliest known use of the term, that's in Wikipedia. So Mahashundar Banerjee against Cochrane. So there may be something to this. Cochrane. A lot of people say Cochrane. Is it Cochrane? Is that the correct pronunciation? Not even going to attempt to correct my Indian pronunciation. Look at the S villain. Like, he's so resourceful. This is just no problem for him. Does this win by force? Not exactly. He probably has a defense to that too. Wikipedia is reliable. I wouldn't quote it in my doctoral thesis, man. I'm so funny. Alright. I missed that he has a defense at all, of course. Just brutal. Defense is everything. It's kind of like my game with Soltiga yesterday. I thought he was going to hang on. Finally, he went down 2 pawns in an endgame, and couldn't salvage it. He just kept finding resources. Bishop A8 is not going to cut it there. Space was too much. So the piece of info is actually cited Indian Defense Chess Players Chronicle, 1884. That's pretty legit. An actual magazine. Alright, Haggard DK, Testosterone. We're taking the subscribers, guys, because it's Monday and Wednesday we're doing that. Fridays, I'm taking just all of the challenges in order. This is not Friday, as far as I recollect. So our subscribers include Testosterone and Baleful. Heisenberg challenging me to a totally random time control. That's not happening. Alright, anything between 6 plus 3 and, 5 plus 3 and 7 plus 3. Alright, Testosterone is up next. My chess education was prior to Wikipedia. Yeah, that's true. When did Wikipedia begin? Like in 2000 or something? Is it older than that? I guess it's older. When did Wikipedia start? 1995? Another interesting question. Stop playing knight f3. Alright. Move11 said that yesterday I started playing more e4 lately. Maybe that's true. I'd like to do that. I like e4. You're going to mute the stream. How dare you? The Caro Khan. I lost a really bad game yesterday against c4 and this new guy on my simul. I haven't checked, but he might have played a perfect game. Alright, Testosterone. I'm a little bored of this mainline Caro Khan. Against Asterbate, I lost. Asterbate. Ayeste. You guys gotta stop with the 5-syllable, the 5-letter A names. Alright. Anyways, I'm still not awake, guys. My coffee was kind of weak today. Did I use the internet in college? Are you kidding? Damn, dude. I remember, like, using the internet in 1989 with one of my high school friends. Even earlier. It was 88. I was like, what is that? He's like, this is a modem. I'm like, yeah, I've heard of that. What does it do? Yeah. Well, you dial into this thing, and he dialed in, and I was like, wow, this is weird. I don't know, it was like really early. B takes C castles. I guess that's mine. So even before college, we even had computers. All right. Testosterone seems pretty well prepared here. I think I had this game with black pieces against Jared Bryan once. FIDE Master from Maine. E4 gets 2 main line. I don't think in modern chess there's too much difference between E4 and D4 as far as main lineness goes. A little less of C4 knight F3, although that's at the higher levels, everything is mainline arsenal. The only way you get out of main line at the highest levels is to play like knight C3 on the first move, like Jababa or something. Rook E8, double exclam. So testosterone, maybe this is even a known pawn sacrifice. He's the aggressive Caro-Kann player. The BU class of 83. Right. Not that old, man. Damn. But we're not revealing my actual age. I'm getting younger every day. I'll tell you guys, I have an Apple IIc in my basement, and it plays the Chessmaster 2100 or whatever the heck it is. Chessmaster 2000, I think I have. One day I'll do the retro computer chess stream. Alright, castles. Although my first computer chess was really one of those standalone Fidelity. The Fidelity, what was it called? Similar to the Radio Shack computers, but a little bit better. Fidelity. Testosterone is interesting player. He's got a lot of compensation for his sacrificed pawn here. Well, I'm not sure I would want to go for this type of pawn sacrifice, really. You know, there's so many other options. Well, Mr. Killy, you actually went into a non-variation that I faced many times. A6 is a notoriously bad move in that symmetrical English. The first game was an epic game where I lost against this guy Alejandro Rios back in 1991. I had a winning position for like 35 moves and then blundered tragically and lost. And it like destroyed my whole tournament. It was messed up because I had a really, really good start, I think. I drew a 2600 player in the like won my first game, drew a 2600 player, then lost like a 6-hour battle against this guy from winning position. I'll never forget that game. It really upset me. Where he basically won a lost position from that line. It ruined my tournament. So that's why it just never really left me. The memory of that wondrous experience. Okay, testosterone is just violently aggressive. I'm sitting here thinking about something I probably don't need to spend too much time thinking about. What about knight to g4, though? You see, that may be an issue. I guess I could play g3. We're thinking about bishop g5. There was Commodore 64, right? Remember those? The VIC 20, I don't know. The Kasparov branded chess computer, rated 1600. Damn. 1600, man, that's pretty weak. The Chessmaster for Windows 98. Now you're talking modern era, man. It's the same Chessmaster, though. They went on. They went on pretty long. Josh Weitzkin did a tutorial with game analysis examples, and like one of the game examples he did from around that 98 version was his loss against me. I'll go down in history with the win against Josh Weitzkin, annotated forever in the Chessmaster. And I'm not sure he did any other games where he actually lost. Probably chose more of his own wins. The Testosterone is an interesting style. He's fast and forward. fast forward style. So each new edition had new lectures in it. I never actually watched them or anything. I just noticed that mine was one of them. I think I played him just twice, and I drew once and beat him once. He's a little bit younger than me, but not much. Testosterone, practical. He doesn't really use too much time. I'm thinking longer, a little bit longer on some of my moves. Some people recently have commented that they thought that I focused too much on the discussing, or maybe it was Tushar, or somebody recently, discussing that I use too much discussion about the time. But I think it's important. Time management. Very practical play by black. No weaknesses. Pawn down. But I'd rather be active, and have no weaknesses than be clinging to a isolated pawn or something like that, which what I'm essentially doing here is that, although it's an extra pawn, so I'll deal with it. I can live with it. He's finally getting a little bit of time pressure. I gotta stop playing this type of position with white. I have terrible score with this Tarash. Reverse Tarash. Just utterly lame. Sorry guys for the allergy. Man, I've got a very bad stiff neck. All kinds of health problems I want to complain about here. So knight h5, tactics non-existent with my queen on d1, probably. Batten down the hatches. Time to batten down the hatches, mighty. You got to admit, he's pretty tough. He's 1821. I mean, you run into 1600s here who play like gods, but what I like about Testosterone is how principled he seems to be playing. Principally, can I say that? Can I use that word, principally, in this context? Let's just say how principled his play is. That's what I strive to teach people, I was thinking, if I ever write a chess book, what should I title it? This was a serious conversation I had with myself last night in my head. If I were to write a chess book, what would the title be? The Path to Chess Mastery. What do you guys think about that? Collection of all my teachings. I want to market myself as well as Jeremy Silman. Yeah, the temptation of taking that is pretty high. I feel like such a realist here. JCS likes my title. It's probably like a title of a book that already exists that I just subconsciously picked up or something. The problem is it's too close to the road. Isn't there like a road to chess improvement or something like that? I think I'm like stealing someone's title. Is there somebody who wrote a book called The Road to Chess Improvement? Is that some sort of The Road to Chess Mastery. We're getting closer to someone else's title, I think. Yeah, The Road to Chess Improvement by Guillermo. It's too close. I'm stealing his title subconsciously. I gotta come up with something better. everyone else. How to play like a Russian schoolboy. No, I need a totally different title. I'll just keep working on it. We'll eventually come up with something. No more weak pawn for me. Weak pawn becomes strong pawn. Got more where that came from. Slowly testosterone ran out of ammunition. I'm curious about the opening, man. I mean, is this all book? Like sacking the pawn with queen e7? Looks very familiar. So, yeah. I definitely had this with black once. But there's something weird about this. Ah. Yeah, so it's normally you take here. I definitely played this. So only one other player did this pawn sack like you would knight b6. But it's definitely interesting. I mean, black has some compensation. But I thought rook e8 here, honestly. It's very close to another variation. I'm not sure if it's better to play that or not. You're down a pawn, but you have some comp. The thoroughfare. Alright, Bill's up next. He's a subscriber. Heisenberg challenged me to a normal time control. And Bob is up. So we're going to play the subscribers first. Speaking of chess book titles, if I ever publish one. Well, somebody got the Commodore 64. I don't know. I don't think I knew anyone who had that. For some reason, it wasn't very popular. Well, it was fairly popular, but for some reason, none of my friends had Commodore 64. Even though I was the right generation for it. Who said that? Cash Maui. You know, used to see commercials about it on TV and stuff. TV. Here we go with knight f3 again. Anonymous. Juice Box Wizard. Long time no see. Anonymous. The g6. Early knight c6, we try to play e3. Push e4. And we'll play the other side of... Uh-oh. Now he's going Fischer. Korchnoi Fischer. Uh-oh. You made a bad move. You're supposed to play d6 there. Now you get the bad position. Very easy to make that mistake. I've seen lots of masters do it. But now black really gets a bad game. I know because I play black in these move orders. Clash Kid just showed up as well. Your 50, your first home PC was the VIC-20. Another one was this like Acorn computers. I remember those. They used that in a different school district near mine. They were British, I guess. My school had the older Apples, like when I was growing up. Apple IIe computers we used to use in like grade school and junior high. Now the e6, so we go for... The e6 is a good try, probably. We go for d5. Juicebox is going to Thailand, apparently. Do you like using the Sicilian? Sicilian is always been my main defense since I was like 1600. I first started with the Pirch defense when I was like 1200. Couldn't really... Pirch was a little tough. It's pretty hyper modern, so when I started playing the Sicilian, I kind of stuck with it. 10 more days and you're going to Cambodia. You're going to miss the monsoon. I mean the typhoon. Your babysitter in elementary had an old Mac Plus. That's super old school. That's something like, I think one of my friend's brothers had one of those, like the first Macs. It was actually very similar in looking to the even the more recent ones, but they were really good back then, though. I mean, even the early Apple Macs were like really ahead of their time. Where's my advantage here? If I try to play like say Bishop D3, trying something new and totally different here. We go with Bishop H6 and just hack off a knight on F5 and try to exploit his uncastledness. Not sure I like this plan. Okay, Bishop D3 itself is probably okay, but I'm not sure I want to play Bishop H6, actually. I'm not signing off on that just yet. We're talking about old computers. My first chess computer. Fidelity. Don't remember what it was called. Standalone 2100. 40 hours of flying and in and out of airports. That's gonna suck. Yeah, that sounds like fun, doesn't it? Castles. I think we'll stick with castles. I'm not gonna play Bishop H6, but this lets him castle, you know. And I don't think his position's that bad. Where's my tangible advantage here? Yes, it looks like he's playing checkers. But on the other hand, I mean, how can you concretely really take advantage of this? You saw a video about Hurricane Katrina? Yeah, we're lucky in Europe, aren't we? That's one of the benefits of moving here. I mean, I never lived in the southeast of the United States, which is really, you know, the southeast and actually even the Gulf Coast, well, especially the Gulf Coast nowadays. Juicebox Wizard is in Texas. Texas can be a nasty place to live. Alright. What are we doing? Thank you guys for joining me here for some Blitz and Rapid Chess. International Master William Paschall. We're based in Hungary, where my biggest problem is allergy season. This strange position of my pieces. No matter where I put them, there seems to be some kind of issue. I don't know what to do here. I don't even have a clue. I seriously don't have a clue. Like, what the heck am I supposed to do in this position? Does anybody have a clue what you're supposed to do here? I seriously don't have an idea. Maybe King H1, a prophylactic move? You could just play like B6. This will be the first time, not the first time, but the last time I lose to Bale. He beat me the first game, then he's lost the subsequent 18. You're Minnesota. Not the hurricane capital of the world. Alright. Someone suggested Bishop G5. Maybe Bishop G5 was actually not a bad move. Maybe Bishop G5 was the ticket. Now Baleful did a very dangerous thing. He gave up his dark squared bishop. This is not the first time he's attempted something like this. This is not really, you know, a safe looking decision for black. Basically giving me the initiative. I'm not sure this actually works. Black to move and play. What was a mistake? Bishop c2. He had a very interesting move there. Knight f5 right now, with the idea of bishop takes f5, queen h4 in between move to get me off of the mate threat. Just a temporary piece sacrifice. Although there still may be some advantage for white in that case. But now I'm just simply taking this pawn back. There's also rook b1. There's also rook e1. He'll be playing like d6 next. Very bad allergy typhoon here. These crazy ideas that just don't work. Let's play for tactics. Crazy risky to play bishop takes c3. I don't know what would possess you to do that. Never give up a fianchetto bishop. Never get out of the boat. Was king h1 a random move? It was semi-random. I couldn't think of what to play, and I knew it would be a useful move in the future. There's no way the king h1 is a bad move. I think this is going to be tough for black to hold on. Avoiding the X-ray. I don't know if it was all that deep. I just basically was using a lot of time and couldn't think of something constructive. Just kind of a waiting move, you know, and then see if he makes a mistake. I mean, f4 could be an idea sometimes. I definitely was thinking about playing f4 earlier, but this is bad for black all around. Oh no. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Who's up next? It had incidental points. Good description. So Bob Solano and Zen Chess, as far as I know, are subscribers. Extra. Now I'll trade queens. But honestly, if you don't play bishop takes c3, I don't think your position is too bad. What would possess you to do such a thing? I made him go crazy with king h1. So that position, let's see. I like the bishop g5. That's my vote. Without seeing the engine. See? Who was it that suggested bishop g5? Now the engine's actually going away from it, but Bishop g5 seems like the most constructive move. You know, it doesn't have any real downsides. All right. Guys, tomorrow night we're having a rapid tournament. Just Panda will brief us on that. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. No donations yet this week, unfortunately. Hey guys, don't make fun of my pajamas, okay? It's a giant panda. But anyway, I was just asleep. I had my coffee, feel better now. Tomorrow night we're playing rapid tournament, the Panda Arena 3. So it's going to be rapid chess, 7+2, casual. Be here 6:30 EDT tomorrow night, okay? Okay, I'm going to get my breakfast. Bye-bye. So Panda Arena 3 coming up tomorrow night. Got roast beef. Alright, subscribers, Bob Sacamano and Zen Chess. The stream is choppy. Let me check if we've got drop frames or anything like that. No drop frames. My CPU usage is pretty high. We got a cheer. Is that a one cheer? Gay Pride stream? Bob, don't. Do you get all the money from bit donations? There's a rake. Well, there's definitely a rake. Bit donations are not free. I don't know what the exact percentage is. Nothing's free in this world. I mean, they provide the service and they transfer the money. I mean, of course, like, nothing's free. You guys can also make a donation. Bob donated 1 bit today. Thank you very much. Stream quality is miserable now. Why is the stream quality miserable, though? I'm not really understanding why the stream quality should be different from, say, like yesterday. We could stop the stream and restart it. I've been streaming for 53 minutes. My CPU is a little bit being pushed. It seems like, oh. Now hold on a second. I think I understand why we have a problem. I don't know. I might understand why there's a problem. Hold on a second. Let's see if it runs better now. I think I fixed it. It should be better. Alright. We had another program running that may have been affecting the stream quality. Let me see if this let's see if this helps. Well, definitely the engine. I know Tushar said that, but I think we had something else going on that was sucking up resources from my machine. All right, Bob, don't belittle the gay pride. Don't discriminate against anyone here, Bobby. All right. The engine is running, there's camera lag. It's kind of like when you talk to someone on Skype, it seems like when you have the video on, it's always very deep idea, but it's always worse quality. Juicebox Wizard donated for Merle. The zombie donation. Thanks so much, guys. I think I just had another program turned on that might have been affecting it. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. Immediately my CPU went down a little bit. My CPU meter. Actually not that much though. Could be other factors as well at play. What's up, Asterbait? It's 2 a.m. Do you know where you're at, man? Another Karo Khan. My second one today. We lost last night against Ayesta, who's here actually. He didn't challenge us though. I guess since he's not a subscriber. Juicebox Wizard with 100 donation and then another 100, but I'm confused about something. It's funny, the juice box wizard donated 100, and then when he donated another 100, he like lost his bits leader badge, and he's just number one. So number one like outweighs the 10,000. I mean, he lost his 10,000 cheer badge, so the number one outweighs the 10,000 cheer. Dude, it was cool this morning, Jumpin' Jackson. Like, no kidding. You don't know how hot it's been here. It's like 85 degrees every day with humidity. But today it was like chilly when I woke up in the morning. No joke. We're going to sack upon the Boleslavsky Gambit here. I've been playing this for years. Curious inspired. I think I saw an old Curious game. I used to study his games, and what's nice about Curious as a sort of role model as a player was the fact that he played e4 and d4 universally, kind of like Spassky or who else. Curious actually has a two. There's that. I mean, not like he wrote it. I guess he did annotate some of these games himself, but he actually has a series. Two-part series on his games, or there exists a two-part series on his games where, you know, one book is actually d4 and one book is e4. I mean, I guess there are a lot of players. Alyekin is another one who played e4 and d4, but it seems like Alyekin really a lot of people like permanently transferred from one to the other, whereas Kyrgyz kind of always played both. Like Karpov was totally e4, and then he just completely switched at one point. Juicebox Wizard with another 300. So he's donated 500 bits today. Thank you so much, man. If you donate more, you're risking to get the ugly purple badge. Wait, what's the ugly purple badge? Is that the what is that, 5,000? Wait, I've never seen a purple badge. Clash Kid. Wait. I'm just sacking this pawn. You know that Baleful would take this. He loves giving up his dark-scored bishop. Bob doesn't want any part in that. Now what do I do, though? Do I take with the queen and give him a tempo? No, I'll be like Leko. Today was Chile and Hungary, and no Turkey. Dude, what are you talking about? Jumpin' Jackson said he lives in Israel, and it's like desert there, and there's AC. Well, I mean, that's like living in Las Vegas, like Acerbate. There's AC everywhere, and you just get used to it, you know, after a while. But I don't have AC anywhere. I live in places where it's like just a little too... It's just a little too not hot enough to have AC, really, or really need AC. I guess if I stay here year-round in Budapest, I would have to get AC. We have AC, but it's like room AC, not like, you know... What do they call it? Central AC, like everywhere in Las Vegas. F3, knight h3, knight f2, e4 is a good setup for white. Sketchy. Thank you for the donations, Juicebox Wizard, the leader for the week. That should hold up for a while this week. You don't get used to sweating. I start sweating when I dry up after the shower. Yeah, that's the worst, man. When you take a shower and it's hot and like you just can't stop sweating. All right, knight h5. That is a strange move, Bob. Out into the twilight zone over there. He's looking for f4. But I don't mind that. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to play queen c7, knight f4? I'll just play g3. I have a white square bishop, you don't. And I can afford to play g3 and like weaken the white squares or my king. around my king because you don't have a white square bishop to do any damage. Like, you traded it off already. Biddies. Of course you can play crazy openings like knight h3, f3, knight f2. But that doesn't make them good. You know, it's a question of what you can get away with. On Wednesday I do a stream where I play unusual openings. But I don't usually do anything quite that eccentric. Sometimes I play knight h6 on one move with black. On one move. On move 1. Move 11. Move 1. Just for fun, I like to play e4, knight h6. And yes, it's a common idea, you know, to pair that with f6, knight f7 later. Some people refer to that as the rat formation. Bits, how much do bits cost? There's a rake, as Clash Kid put it. You can't beat the rake. What would happen if you do Bond Cloud with e4, king e2, and over the board game? Yeah, I remember one time there was this friend of mine who's kind of crazy, and he's very emotionally unstable, and he was having a bad tournament. And so this one game, he like purposely played self-mate. He played f4. I guess it was f4, e5, g4 against Sultan Varga. And Varga was really upset, you know. He was very, very insulted by this. I think that's what happened. I'm not sure that was the exact order of moves, but it was definitely a two. I mean, there aren't too many two-move mates. It has to be g4, f4. So it had to be like, yeah, e4, sorry, f4, e5, g4, queen h4 mate. The dude intentionally mated himself in like two moves. Because he lost like 3 games in a row and he lost his mind or something. Self-immolation. But it's, I mean, e4, king e2 is, I guess if you're a strong enough player, you could probably make it work. I like how Juicebox loses his 10,000 badge. The 10,000 badge looks better than the Bits Leader badge. The red is so... Clash Kid doesn't like it. It is a little aggressive. Alright. Anyway, back to the concentration for this game here. Actually, Bob has c5 at some point. I mean, he could have actually played this... Well, not yet. Maybe I had to defend e6. Excuse me, e7. So if he plays c5, he frees his position. You know, it's strange that I don't really see what I'm supposed to do here. Knight e5, he just trades pieces. Though his knight would end up kind of strange on the king side. I'm still not finding an obvious way to play this. Do you do recordings and favorite games? I've done a lot of lectures for chesslecture.com, but you know, there's not much history involved in those. It's more just like pure analysis. Rookie 1, e6. What to do? I thought I had a plan. We'll play this. This doesn't make sense. Hope chess. We hope that Bob gets his knight trapped. Man, there's like a disease around here. Everybody wants to trade the dark square bishop bill. Well, you started a trend. So Bob saves his knight, but at what price? Maybe I should play g4? Is it worth it? should I stop him from getting into g4 while I still can? I don't know about this for black. I mean, it looks a little strange. Yes, he has a square on f5, but he has a lot of weaknesses in his position. I was seriously thinking he could play f6. If I play g4, he can play f6. Maybe even f5. I might regret having weakened the f4 square. I mean, his pieces are still pieces. They don't look that bad, actually. These still count for something. Like, f6 will be a lot less appealing if I don't have this weak square on f4. Maybe he can get a roundabout knight d5, knight f4 in on me, and I'm like sort of sorry that I played g4. But this way, he doesn't have much to really latch onto, you know? If he plays f6, he just has this ugly pawn on e6 and no counterplay. I mean, h4 is appealing. The dark squares around the black king should be fatal, objectively. This is not a bad plan right here. The transfer of death. Actually, I have bishop e7, bishop d6. Could have even played that previous move. Yeah, it's the same checkers structure as last game. Not really healthy. So, yeah, I'd like to get some more time to make more videos on YouTube. I haven't really done much on that. This is the break I meant, but I'm really, really happy I haven't played g4. It gives me so much more flexibility in this case. He does have the d5 square. In order to keep him off of that, I'll have to weaken with c4. Bishop h6, rook e8, hangs on. As I was mentioning a minute ago, I like the fact that I have quite a bit of flexibility again. I don't know how well I thought this out. Queen b6. Now he's bearing down on f2. I was actually going to sacrifice my b2 pawn in this position to get through on b7. But then I'm having second thoughts, like, it's actually not as good as it looks. Surprisingly difficult position, really. It's very frustrating. It's amazing how his knights can just glue this thing together. You know, it looks like it should be practically lost for black. With a bad structure, and I have two bishops on an open board, for a pretty open board, but the knights just happen to have outposts that glue it together. I guess I'm threatening bishop takes g7, ultimately just winning a pawn on e6. Could have played rook e8 there. Killing the threats against f2. We win a pawn. a meager gain. Meager. It's like Smeagol. Fantastic rook sacrifice. Followed by the deadly queen trade. Sorry to laugh, Bob, but that was definitely not what I expected. All right. Queen f7, not what we expected. I thought it was a credit to him, though, that he kept it going as long as he did. Now, right now, he should play rook e8, and I don't know, how bad this actually is for black. If he just defends the e6 pawn, it's surprisingly difficult for me to break it down. Only +2 according to the engine. It was +2 strategic advantage with no material, but surprisingly difficult to crack black's position. How many views total per month for 1,500? What if you get 100,000 views on you? What's that? If your YouTube videos get popular, you can make decent money. There's a couple popular YouTube chess video makers that pull 50,000 plus views per video. Well, like, okay, you got like St. Louis Chess Club, which is like a non-profit owned by a billionaire. So, I mean, they're like promoting their channel and stuff with the support of a billionaire. So you can't really count that. I mean, I guess if like Magnus Carlsen had his own YouTube channel, I guess he might. But anyway, if he was like seriously or something, he could do it. I don't know how many people can really legitimately do it, but yeah, I mean, I want to improve the YouTube channel, video chess training on YouTube. Okay, guys, let's get back to what we're doing here. 7 + 3. All right, it's practically like a full-time job, though. I mean, it feels like making my YouTube channel really, really good. I'd have to almost like devote all my time to it. I know Agad Mator, who got in trouble with the wonderful people of St. Louis. Those wonderful chess. I'm trying to find a word for them. Well, I mean, it's all very fishy how YouTube videos get promoted and stuff. It's like fake news or something. Of course, Magnus has a YouTube channel, right? I mean, that's not what I meant, but I mean, he hardly has any time. Imagine I can't do a YouTube channel. Imagine Magnus trying to do a YouTube channel. Seriously, like, as if the guy has any extra time for that. He probably struggles to do, anything outside of, like, playing world-class tournaments. There's only so much time in the day. So, an interesting move by Zen Chess that I never really faced. I played b3, which is outside my normal repertoire. I don't know why, and he played this b5. So I don't know this variation too well. I'm just reacting on instinct here. Alexander Ivanov used to play this. I guess if White knows the theory really well, maybe he can get some kind of edge. I think that Tibor Karoy did an article for this in New in Chess, and he called it the Dobosh variation. There was I think maybe he's still alive. I'm not sure. Heinrich Dobosh. It's like a Hungarian master. I have no idea. Maybe he's dead. So this was, according to Karoy, the Dobosh variation. Interesting line. Magnus needs better organization. Yeah, he's only taking in like a couple $1 million a year. What a waste of what a waste of talent. He really needs to get his act together, doesn't he? He's worse than me. Yeah, I mean, the more popular chess YouTube videos, sure, they don't even have to be like strong players. But I definitely need help. I need a YouTube expert to help me because I'm struggling with the YouTube channel. All right, we've got nothing with the white pieces here. I mean, there's some vague hope of some pressure down the C file. We gotta put some new selfies. Shark selfies. There was like a fatal shark attack at this beach where just yesterday or the day before yesterday, a fatal shark attack at a beach where I've actually been swimming before, where I've actually been swimming with seals like within a few meters of me in past years, and it's really kind of scary. Take a shark selfie next time. A backup wide receiver who plays one down a game in the NFL makes more than Magnus. That's kind of harsh, Juicebox. No, those guys don't make that much, do they? Major League Baseball, NBA make more than NFL players. I feel like a lot of the NFL guys don't make as much. No? I mean, the biggest names do. But the backup guys, for real? That's kind of dissing Magnus. The backup wide receiver, specifically. Alright. It's not bad for a chess player. I like the way that Zen Chess played this, though. The Dobosh. Bob, is that a real 2 donation? You think a minimum of $3 million a year? Seriously? Well, I guess with all the, talk about, in recent years, maybe salaries in NFL have gone up a lot. With all the talk about, concussions and stuff like that and lawsuits. But in the old days, NFL players didn't actually do that well. I guess I'm dating myself. Still living in the past. Just seems like basketball and baseball players make even more. Plus, the NFL season is shorter than some other sports. Alright, D takes C5. We've got absolutely zero with the white pieces here. So the minimum base salary in NFL is $450,000. Now you're getting close to Magnus, but you're not quite touching him. For a kicker, he plays like 5 minutes a game at most, with no chance of getting hurt. Alright guys, back to chess. Tomorrow we have the Ponda Arena 3. It's going to be 7+2 rapid chess here on lichess. Come join me. 6:30 CEST. Guys, can anybody testify whether the stream has stopped being as choppy now? I can't really tell. I don't have time to watch myself, but do we have less choppiness than previously? We're on the D6 bishop. Oh no. Kind of let me in there. I want to get that bishop off. That's true, Bob. A lot of MLB players, but Europeans don't know anything about baseball anyway. We won't talk about that. Slow chess should die fast. I can't wait to read that. Greg Shahade is like promoting himself again. He's been trying to do these chess, online chess leagues, and he's in cahoots with chess.com, and it's really kind of self-promoting. I believe in the beauty of chess. I don't think we have to continue down this path of chess has to be popular. Chess has to be, everybody's gonna, it's gonna be an ESPN watch sport. I mean, I think this fantasy should die. That should be the thing that dies. This fantasy that chess is gonna be like, I don't know, the UFC or something. Let's just be realistic, Greg. This is not gonna happen. Go back to play some poker already, dude. I mean, if he wants to make money, he should go back to playing poker. All right, knight cb5. I think there should be two kinds of chess. Rapid chess and regular chess. Maybe the fact of the matter is that like chess will die completely because of computers, and it won't matter like what time control we're playing unless it's 1 minute chess, and even they'll eventually conquer that too. I don't agree with that stuff about making chess faster. You guys should know that by now. But I mean, Greg Shahade has this concept that chess should be like the NFL or NBA. It should be like NBA basketball. But you can't, because most people can't even comprehend how to play chess. Or want to. Anyway, it's just turning it into something super fast is a different thing for me. He's entitled to his opinion, but I don't really give a crap. I've long maintained the opposite, that the chess should be played slow. Yeah, I mean, video games, super fast pace games are popular. Greg should go into something else other than chess, Stop trying to make chess into something that it's not. Running out of squares here for my knight. So queen b6, queen d4, and then knight back to c3, I guess, something like that. Or we could just pull the trigger and play like knight back to d4. I'm a little concerned he has this queen a6 maneuver and he's better. Now I've kind of committed myself. Actually, queen d4 loses a pawn here. I don't know what I'm even thinking about. So I kind of wasted time. I guess I'm throwing knight a4 now. This fantasy about making chess faster will attract more publicity and more popularity has been going on forever. Maurice Ashley was on with Danny King on ESPN 25 years ago. Nothing has changed since then. Chess isn't magically more popular now. That rapid chess exists and faster time controls exist. Just trying to fit like a square peg in a round hole. I think with the making chess super fast. All right. Knight a4. What's wrong with that move? Guys are distracting me. Knight takes b3. You don't even have that. No, I saw this already. Knight takes a4, bishop takes e7, knight c3. All right, we're not apes, I agree. But we're definitely not exactly like a superhuman race either. People are pretty simple. All right. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? The aliens are just going to take us out. Do I have queen c2 here? I'm just going to lose on time. I mean, that's really what's happening here. It's a little bit reminding me of my game. It's reminding me of my game from yesterday against Bombist. Oh, this bishop f3 might be a bad move too, but I have to do something. Bombist, leave me alone. There's no shame in losing on time. When the aliens invade the Earth, you know, we'll be able to take Greg Shahadi's idea and basically, you know, split the match with the advanced aliens, losing the longer games, but taking down the aliens in bullet chess or something. Till they figure out how to play with faster time controls. Then we'll lose both. Yes, I'm just raving about crazy things. All right. H4. Really good game by Zen Chess. The power of pawn structure. After like 10 years, they'll adapt to faster time controls. It'll all be for naught. E5. Bishop takes d5. Could have some problems there, ultimately. What's going on here? Look at this guy. Oh no. Stay away from the chalupa. Oh my god. Dude, seriously? better here. Oh, is that a perpetual straight up? Duh. That's just very aware. The H5. A master had that. You had a check there? Alright. I guess it's a draw. Good game, man. So, if I don't take on H5, do I have something? If I play B7, am I winning? A7? I'm not sure G5 was even his best, but I was winning with A7. I panicked. He's actually lost here. He overpressed. I didn't realize it was perpetual for some reason. Very stupid. Juiceboxer, thank you for the 500 bits today. Bob and Acerbate with 3 and 2 bits, respectively, getting on the leaderboard. First draw for today. Alright, guys, we've got almost an hour left. Subscribers, Scoble and Clash Kid are up next. We'll try to play as many games as I can. But it was a nice game by Zenchess. He was better pretty much the whole game. My problem is that I never play B3 against Bishop A6. I never have literally ever played that line. And then on top of that, he plays B5. It's like the variation that I know the least. So I was left to my own devices right from the get-go there. Excuses. JCS taking second place down. Congratulations, man. 4 bits today. The Illuminati triangles. I've got my, just to support the alien, I got my NASA t-shirt on. The alien conspiracy theories. Clash Kid, how come I never see you play anymore? Clash Kid is a simul expert. You should have seen his game yesterday where he beat me in the simul. Nice ending. 2 pawns up, bishop versus knight. Taking me out in my simul yesterday, Turkey Farm. He doesn't like Blitz that much. But it's interesting that Clash Kid is the one that brought up the Greg Shahadi thing about they should change the World Championship to fast chess. Greg, why not just make it 200 bullet games for the World Championship? That's what I want to know, you know? Why don't we just forego the rapid chess and have Magnus taking on, like, I don't know, you or something for for the 1 minute World Championship. Andrew Tang against Magnus Carlsen for the World Chess Championship. 200 games of hyper bullet with 30 seconds each. I think that's the way that chess should be played. Damn, dude played H4. I admit to castling kind of early here. I didn't say I like Blitz chess. No. I'm not at all arguing that you did. I mean, I know that you actually like to play in simuls and you don't like the Blitz as much. But I didn't say that you didn't like Blitz at all. But I know that you preferred the longer games. At least as far as playing against me. But you think the idea of having 50 game championships is interesting. I'd be satisfied with 50 game championships, but not with rapid chess. I mean, it's just not the same thing, man. You know, the quality of chess is low. So what's the point, you know? I kind of like Scoble's position here. We're in some trouble, man. Man and women. We're in some serious trouble, but I do have b5, b4. Maybe I can take out his e4 pawn. This has got to be the only hope. Well, you can't take on f3 because that'll... His only weakness is this e4 pawn here. If I can take them out, if I take that out, maybe I still can stay in the game. Chess enhancing drugs. 45 seconds, Magnus definitely wins. Just ridiculous. Greg should definitely like contact FIDE and try to set up a world chess league. Could run it through a server in some former Russian republic. And uh-oh. b5, bishop d3. That's a darn good move. Now it's different. Now it's a different story. We got him off of this diagonal. All right, we have to come up with a new plan now. Maybe we have to bite the bullet and take this. Try to set up a blockade. I don't like this, but we're going to do the best we can to survive. White has the advantage. White has a very strong center. My position looks extremely precarious here. Would I be ideally playing classical time controls for practice? Absolutely. And I used to play like classic long games against engines for practice too. And that's when I reached my greatest strength, probably, when I was playing regularly long games against computers in training games. But eventually I just had to give it up, because not only because of time and like making a living, but I found that playing computers too much actually was changing my style to the point where I was afraid to do anything. Basically afraid to play any kind of tactics. So I guess ideally you want to play classical time controls against strong humans, not computers. Just that nobody would play long games, you know what I mean? That's how I started doing the computer thing. I used to play 15-minute games against humans and stuff, but it's hard to find human opponents who want to play long games. Now what do we do? Knight e5 or knight d4? Check. Knight d4 check. I guess both moves are playable. He doesn't have to take, but okay. Now the theme of the day is bishop takes c3. But actually, actually this is appropriate now. Obviously bishop takes b5. We gotta get out. Bishop g7. Whoa, wait a minute. Bishop e5? So bishop e5, rook g4 is a literal problema. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay, I'm not liking this too much. I don't think I did the right thing there. But rook g4 was a problem. I'm extra cynical today, and Bob is too. So Clash Kid what? He plays 60 30 games against engines before tournaments. I mean, at this point, I think the best thing would be to find older engines, you know, that aren't so strong, you know, maybe from 15 years ago, or to turn them down or something. I mean, you would play something that's, you know, at least you can draw like 1 in 10 games against, so there's some sort of hope. So I think if you're playing a game against an opponent that you can never literally even make a draw against, it can't really be good for you psychologically. Can you play knight takes e4 immediately instead of b5? Whoa. I didn't think that was possible. Now bishop h6. Changing diagonals. No bishop takes c3 from me. Not in this position. Version of Leela has not so much training. Dude, I got an Excalibur electronic board. Breaking it out. I think it's a good idea. You know? Now Scoble just lost his mind. His king is in an unhealthy location in the long run. Sack the queen, Scoble. All your pieces are in play then. He wouldn't buy it. Maybe e5. Let's see, we weaken our white squares a little bit, but it's not so easy for him to take advantage. He's basically trying to set up a cheapo here with queen takes h5. Cheapo detector detecting evidence of attempted cheapo. Setting it up. Alpha Zero essentially solved French defense? From what perspective? We're out of this. We're out of this file. I've had enough of this file, man. Now white is in a lot of trouble. I'd like to play f5, but he starts to open the position a little bit. There's that silly old queen h5 again, harassing me. It wouldn't hurt to have a plan, maybe. I'm blocking my own f-pawn. Pretty awkward. Well, I guess the time is important here as well. Still not that easy to make progress, and this idea of playing knight f4 is, I'm not sure about that. Start having trouble again. Bishop takes, pawn takes. Yeah, he's got play. I'm not sure I like this anymore. I think I'm going to go back to where I was. No, he actually did a really good job of staying alive here, and none of the setups that I can think of seem to really eliminate all of his possibilities. I really needed to play f5, and I should have pulled the trigger if I had the chance at all. But I just didn't see it. Eventually, it's like a King's Indian now, same-ish. I guess I can play f5. We'll just play f5. Screw it. That's not protected again. Done a really good job just hanging out. I had knight f4. Now it's over. I saw he had this pin with queen d2, but I'm taking 2 rooks for the price of 1 here. That seems too much. Did I just trap my own guy? He resigned. Now he actually has queen e3 and trapping my knight. No, I can get out. Yeah, I mean it was definitely good for white, this position before. Alright, thank guys for waiting. Clash Kid and Nils are up next. We play the subscribers first on Mondays and Wednesdays. Once again, thanks Juicebox for the donations. He donated 10 more. He's up to 510 bits today. I don't think I mentioned the last 10. Winning the exchange with knight g3 was not so good there. The white rooks were passive. Alright. Clash Kid taking me out at Simul. Nice game yesterday. I'm trying to remember now how that game went. One of our last games to finish, of course. I was white. Oh, the Queen's Gambit. So I missed some really good... I want to look at that when I get the chance. I didn't have time last night, Clash Kid. But apparently I had a nice advantage if I don't try to win the pawn back, but I just play it as a pawn sacrifice. Okay, I very briefly looked at that last night after the stream. Last second. Before we closed down the stream yesterday. Acerbate, what's up, man? So we're playing this A6 sort of O'Kelly variation from time to time. Very few people seem to know what they're doing here. There's the two-shard variation. I have to look it up. Knight f3, bishop b4, bishop c4. Clashy, we haven't played this yet, right? I won every game except for one, which was drawn against Zenchess. He pressured me in the so-called Dobosh variation of the Queen's Indian. The pawn. He has the strong pawn center, trading his e5 pawn for the c4 pawn. Zenchess had pressure. He was slightly better through most of that game. Till he overpressed at the end and almost lost. Should have lost, actually. He overlooked that I had a4 and a strong passed pawn. We managed to win our other games. Okay, Clash Kid here, caught out of book with my weird a6 Sicilian. For those of you that don't know, contrary to popular belief, it's actually better for white not to play d4 against this move. It seems like the best moves are c3, c4, and knight c3. Nevertheless, almost everyone plays d4, which is the reason why people play a6 O'Kelly Sicilian. Because basically d4 isn't really a good move. Now, I haven't faced this yet. I guess we play it basically like a Nimzo, where we'll double his pawns and just play strategically. I mean, h6. Excuse me. There's also Queen c7 here. Is that a strong move? So on Queen c7, he has some kind of Queen f3 type of rejoinder. Then I have this knight takes e4, queen takes e4, bishop takes c3 check. Something along those lines. But his rook on a1 is protected at the end of the day. Alright, I'm just figuring this all out for the first time. You could simply play h6. Then he might even go bishop h4, g5, bishop g3. So I really don't know what to do. Nothing like memorization of variations. Am I keeping track of my winning streak? No, someone else mentioned that I only drew a game today. Of course, Zenchess is like my highest rated opponent, so that's pretty normal. I'm thinking just d6 might be a good move. Simply develop. But it's very passive and lame to play just d6. It feels like black needs to play an active move here. I'll play h6. We'll see what he does. I mean, bishop takes f6, bishop takes c3 check. B takes c, queen takes f6. Has to be at least equality for black. Though I may not be better, I shouldn't be worse. And ultimately, like, the structure is bad for white. He'll have some compensation, though. I'm very, very curious what's going to happen here when we look this up. Snatch the knight. The threat is always stronger than the execution, Bob. That's one thing you should learn from my stream. One of the principles I really try to emphasize. Oh, we got the light from heaven coming down. See how, you know I'm right. You know I'm right when the light from heaven shines down and proves what I'm talking about, you know. Fires from hell are burning my feet as we speak, but you can't see that. You only see the light from heaven coming down. It's all in perception. It sounds good. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Still, it's the light from heaven. Man, can I shift the? Can I shift this? This isn't helping. Nothing's helping. All right, that's not too bad. We got a cheer from Zen Chess, but I really need to fix this brightness problem. It's kind of mid-game though. It's hard to do it mid-game. There's just a little tiny streak of sun that's going through a very small space, causing what looks like this huge explosion of heavenly light on the stream. So Bob is now in third place. Zen Chess takes it with 6 bits, second place. Poor Asterbait left in the dust. He's probably fallen asleep by now. Meanwhile, my CPU is up to 60%. Guys, if this continues, we're going to need to... Why should I take that knight anyway? You know? I'm arguing here. I'm sitting here telling people how they shouldn't release the tension too early. Those double pawns. He actually has some counterplay along the B file because of that open avenue. If I have to choose a side, I choose black here, but I can't honestly say that I believe I have an advantage, because I don't think I do. The big skylight. The skylight. Don't recommend skylights. My dad always told me never ever get a car with like a, you know, skylight. He didn't say specifically about real estate, but he was right. You know, if you get skylights, they always become leaky. Okay, the general rule should be never ever get anything with a skylight because they always become a problem. Just not a good idea. Cars with skylights, houses with skylights, nothing but problems. With cars, you don't call it a skylight, right? Do you? Is there another word for that? Where do I want to put my knight here? Oh man, nothing but problems with the misplaced queen. I don't have a telescope. That'll be our next stream goal after the new CPU. Structure versus dynamic advantage. Yeah, that's interesting. I prefer black here, but I think that white's okay. The sunroof. That's right. Cars have sunroofs. Buildings have skylights. It's basically the same thing. Why should it have a different name? Anyways. My position is overrated. Let's keep him off of c4. I think Tushar would have gone for that. I've seriously got to be careful here. I'm not worse, you know? Because he does have a development lead. Oh, you like the C file for black. That's an optimistic way of looking at the position, Jumpin' Jackson. Jumpin' Jackson gives us some insight into his way of thinking. The man is an eternal optimist. Looks like the skylight blindness got a little better. Zen Chess, you're talking about like Elon Musk smoking pot. All right, Roast Beef just subscribed with Twitch Prime, so he'll get to play today, no matter what goes down. Elon Musk seems a little unhinged. Queen D2 supporting F4. But I guess you have to be a little unhinged to be like a billionaire, right? Why does Queen G5 actually help me, though? Maybe I should just ignore it, you know? If he wants to play F4, he plays F4. Why am I going to waste the tempo move my queen when I don't need to move it yet? Duh. He now gets the D4 square for a knight, possibly. Is it just me, or does it seem like Elon Musk likes attention? Like many people. Queen E5. It's kind of like an internet troll. Right, Bob? Queen G5. Allowing H4 with tempo. That's a little inane for me. Insane or inane? I was actually literally thinking of putting my queen on G3. Really, I'm not normal. Can I actually get away with that? That just seems dangerous. Whereas Queen E5 is like a more stable, semi-stable location for the queen. Yeah, it's kind of easy to dislike Elon Musk. Alright, he's making it easy. My queen is literally trapped after this move. Really, that's beautiful. No, it has one square to go to. Maybe I have to do the ugly G5. Now, some people may think I'm actually unhinged for playing G5, but there's nothing like a fianchettoed queen. Not an entirely stupid move, really. Clash Kid is dangerous, though. He's put up good resistance here. Now I have some problems with F7. King looks unsafe. Probably I should just castle queenside. I just didn't want to bring myself to commit to it, but it's got to be safer than E7. I'm going to have to move my king anyway if he plays rook E1 or something. Probably have to waltz my king over here. Knight F5 right away. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. King D8. Whatever. I was just kidding about King E7. Hopefully in the confusion he'll lose his way. I should have just castled queenside. There he goes. I don't feel completely safe here. Laughing, but I really, it doesn't look very safe. But I love me a good uncastled king in the Sicilian, I have to admit. I'm partial to that. Definitely not a classical opening. There's nothing like the feeling of walking your king to c7 or b8 and getting away with it. Knight d4 back again. Now a4. We've got a pretty solid knight, man. That is my best piece. Hard to break that down. It's like a defender. It's also threatening e4, though. This is where you just play like, you pretend you're Sergei Tivyakov playing the Nimzo, you know, and you're better. Black's better here. Computer doesn't agree. Wow, it gives white the edge. That is instructive, man. I really thought that I'm better. Okay, I think the Stockfish is struggling a little bit with this position. Its evaluation is jumping around. Like 1 minute it's like plus 1.5. Now it's like 0.4. So it's starting to appreciate Black's position, but it doesn't think I'm better. It thinks White's definitely better. Very imbalanced position. The advantage is dropping. Down to 0.3 now. Okay, but I made a blunder with King e7. This was just a stupid move. The computer is actually saying I should castle. I thought the h6 pawn was kind of weak for that. But then again, maybe it's hard for him to get at that. Really tough decision how to play the Black King. Roast Beef just subscribed. He just subscribed, so we'll play him and Nils. Any other subscribers in the house? Yeah, knight takes e4 is the kind of move that just like opens the position. I really just wanted that to be like something for you to worry about. I didn't have a serious intention of taking on e4. It just kind of opens the position for your attack. Intuitively, I didn't even consider it. I'm trying to play more e4. Juicebox Wizard again, thank you so much, man, for your donations today. Bob and Zen Chess. I haven't written you guys off. Thank you so much as well. You're on the board. Spanish. A lot of people playing Bishop c4 these days for good reason. The Steinitz. So don't castle too early here. You get Mamedyarov. Mamedyarov type attacks with g5. Nils thought I was next. You gotta go now. Oh no. Come on. But why you didn't tell me? He was actually higher in the challenge list, and now you're both subscribers, so I figured it was more fair to do it this way. Alright. But unfortunately I didn't know you were pressed for time. We have enough time for these two games. Looks like that will be, you know, like this game and one more game will be all I can do today. Actually, Nils, you would be the last game, probably. Unless somebody's a subscriber. You make the equivalent of 3 bits an hour, which is the living wage in my country. Bob, what are you talking about? Nils, don't even tell me you have to go. Like, I feel so bad now, right? When I take the other guy's challenge. Like, I don't know what to do. Alright. Bishop d7. We have the same exact game in a correspondence game right now. This is old school. I want to say it was a Lasker game. Lasker, Steinitz. They love to play these. slightly passive lines with black. Does anybody know that famous game? It was like in 500 Master Games of Chess where I guess it was Lasker who played like a simplifying maneuver. Sometimes I think it might have been a Capablanca game. No, it was definitely Lasker. There were other games with Capablanca also playing kind of stuff like this with black. This looks like it just loses a pawn. Looks like and does. Yeah, nice guilt trip, man. He sacked a pawn. Rui Lopez. No, he was very kind. Nils said, I've got to go now. Better luck next time. We don't have to be passive aggressive and assume he's trying to give me a guilt trip. That's just my nature. Bob 2. You make the equivalent of 3 bits an hour. That wouldn't fly even in Hungary. I can't afford to live in the United States year round. Too expensive. Yeah, instead of a6, yeah, knight f6, of course. This is like mainline Steinitz defense. But you might want to think about playing the deferred Steinitz, instead with a6 first, followed by d6. Lots of subscriptions today, and lots of subscriptions lately, guys. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. We need that. We need the support. I spend a lot of time doing the stream. I don't expect to make big money, but I just want to make enough that it's viable. People like Juicebox donating today. That's awesome. 500 bits here. A few subscriptions there, guys. We can keep it up. Castles. And black's just down a pawn. I mean, he lost his central pawn. I mean, this is huge. Now he can't develop his pieces properly. He's going to try to castle queenside, it appears. This would give his queen the e6 square, maybe. I'm thinking queen e2. We'd love to trade pieces, just be up a pawn with more exchanges going down. But I also want to develop my pieces here. As long as that pawn exists, he's got problems. So I think queen e6, probably castles queenside. He tries. If I play something like rook d1, he could even play queen out here. Black's position is dubious, but what's he supposed to do? I think it's better than taking on e5. Scientists and doctors don't get enough respect. Today's media world. We want to be ruled by the uneducated. Castle's queenside here. Maybe bishop g5, just trading pieces is not that silly. No, I'll drop a pawn there. Alright, bishop f4. It's prone to attack by like a pawn storm with h6 and g5 or something. But I've got to get my pieces out. And this looks kind of artificial to play, say, rook fd1, just leaving my a rook. See, this is what I meant. Alright, let's take now. Take now and forever hold your peace. The more we can trade, the better. Just break any kind of chance he has of having any sort of realistic compensation. Trading pieces. That's good. I'm a pawn up in an endgame. Rook takes. D1. Or a pawn up with, you could argue, a lead in development. And this is more exchanges. So now we're just winning. The more trades, the better. And I've also got queen g4. That's going to be dead in the water now, because he has to take with the pawn. Yeah, it's over. Well, he has queen f6 to save his rook, but it's a hopeless endgame. Queen e6, okay, let's say. King b8 may be better. There's no mates. Take the pawn, he has queen f6. Queen f8 check. It looks pretty bad. We have queen f8 check and rook d8 and rook a8 and king b6 and knight d5. It's lost. Okay, guys, is Nils still here or is he gone? Nils had to go, unfortunately. We're fresh out of subscribers, it looks like. Arsenal Best's been waiting a long time to play. So we'll see. This might be the last game for today, guys. I'm afraid. I gotta quit at 12:30. What is up here? Arsenal is best. He's been quite strong. You know, I've been impressed by his play. Though he's lost, he's been feisty. So the endgame, the old Indian, what do people call this? The Ukrainian variation, I've seen it referred to. Bishop g5 is like a really typical reaction. I don't think that it's White's best move by any stretch. Although I don't know what is, really. I don't think the exchange on e5 and trading queens is good for White. You know, I think this is equal at best. I guess among the moves that are possible here, it's not so bad. I don't even know the theory that well. There's some big experts, I guess, with black, but people typically don't play this variation. The main problem is just knight f3, you know, and I'm going to have to transpose to a proper old Indian after that, because every other move is bad. Like e4 I play, it's not really reliable. Giving up the center is not really reliable. Knight c6 is maybe not that bad. That could transpose to a weird King's Indian. Might actually be one of black's best moves there after knight f3. Should look into that. Now knight f3, an incisive move by White. There's a very, very nasty trap here. If you move your knight, say to g4 with bishop d8 mate, that's just an evil trick. Knight fd7, knight takes e5 with the same idea. I'm just trying to recall what I'm supposed to do in this particular position. Nesmedinov played this line. That's how I started to pick it up. And actually, I first encountered it, of all things, from a Ukrainian master. So maybe that's true. We're going to find out Nils' suicide. Bob, you're such a troll sometimes, man. Don't joke about people dying. You did that with me. It's not good. Not a good omen. Morbid, yeah. Bob is morbid and scary sometimes. So knight bd7, kind of an awkward move. Arsenal is best. I mean, he's 1500. This is a pretty subtle play. h3 stopping knight, you know, g4. Most people under 2000 wouldn't conceptualize of that. That's why I say that Arsenal is best as a guy who seems to be like 1500 going on 2000. It's kind of frighteningly dangerous. It's also stopped, yeah, mainly knight g4. And he's only used like 30 seconds for the whole game. Mel Blanc with a donation. 100 bits, thank you. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to quit after this game, most likely. So his bishop can come to g5 later on. Wonderful. What do I do? Knight e8. Damn, that's some seriously passive stuff right there. I'm setting up the trick again. I'm out of my mind. Really, only I could think of a way to like self-mate myself with knight takes e5 again. It's just ridiculous. Bishop b4, bishop d2, and then some weird tricks. Arsenal doesn't play like he's 1500. I don't quite get it. His rating seems like it should be 2000. Just way too incisive. What should I play here? Bishop e7 maybe? Bishop c5? The self-pin doesn't appeal either. What am I gonna do? Seriously. a5? I'm down 3 minutes on the clock. Bishop d8 doesn't mate. I'm crazy. Bishop d8 doesn't mate now that there's king b8. Oh my gosh. Alright, finally he made a bad move. It's practically unheard of. Wow, that's a good point. I have b8. Man. I freed that up when I played knight d7, and now I keep thinking I'm getting mated with bishop d8, but it doesn't mate. So it's all a lie. Who is that alert person that suggested this? Zen Chess, of course. Now another mistake from Arsenal. This isn't such a bad mistake, maybe. But I don't like giving up the dark squared bishop here. It's still reasonable for white, though. Ooh, I have a chance to play f. Damn. e4. Sorry, f5, e4, and then knight e5. And hopefully we have some ideas. This didn't even enter my mind. Alright, whatever. He's got 4 minutes, and he snagged the pawn. But I have strong play. Looking for too much. Actually, I had bishop d6 there, winning. Well, he's f4. I'm not winning anything. Probably a4 is the best. Okay, Arsenal with bad, not to be confused with Arsenal fan. Bad time management, playing too fast. A lot of interesting possibilities you just missed in this game. Knight takes f6 better. What? You mean knight takes f6 is better for me? I'm just... Oh, of course, because his knight is hanging. Maybe. I didn't even think about it. I mean, to be perfectly honest, b3 was a terrible move by white and unnecessary. I'm serious about him being like 1500 going on 2000. He made like some really, really good moves and then hastily made some bad moves. But if he just took his time and chilled out, you know, I could have been clearly worse. threatening to win a piece with king b3. But he walks into the line of fire. Now we have vicious play with the two bishops here. This double threat looks decisive. This is our last game for today. Mel Blanc just donated 100 bits, but we've got to go in the next few minutes. Yeah, Pichu, you're probably right. He simply had that. Now he's lost. Just played hastily. But he handled the opening great. I think he had a seriously viable position. I must have made a mistake, because this line really shouldn't be anything for white. Still not mate. Although bishop c3 should be pretty annihilating. Where are you going, man? Not going anywhere. Not getting away. Stay and join the party. Knight takes f6, knight e4. Well, his knight's just hanging there. This didn't end very well for white. You wouldn't have known how well he was doing there. We've got like a couple minutes, so let's take a look here briefly at this opening. So he trades and then plays bishop g5. Second most common move. Knight f3 seems to be the better. I played c6. You know, I've looked at this and I can't seem to remember that I'm supposed to play bishop e6. It's interesting that everybody plays c6 for the most part. It has a good score. But there's some experts who play bishop e6. They seem to know what they're doing here. Alright, so this is like a second best move for those of the non-educated among us who play this. Castle's queenside, king c7. Black's score is crushing because nobody plays this with white. That's the reason, not because the position is that bad for white, just because no good players actually play d takes e and trade queens. So he plays the right move here. I guess I'm following logical, you know, play here. Knight bd7 and now h3, which is a move that I liked. This seems like a good move on the circumstances. I actually rejected bishop b4 because of bishop d2. My fear was that white has some knight g5 here. But here I played what? a5. The computer likes this a5 move, but it's funny, it gives me plus 0.3 after a5. But the main line is bishop e4. I was afraid of bishop d2 when he might have knight to g5 at some moment. It turns out it's nothing though. I was very concerned about knight b5 check here, possibly leading to something for white. In other words, if I play rook e8, knight b5 check, cb5, bishop takes b4 with some kind of, maybe some kind of play. But apparently this is all like a fantasy. Someone was mentioning knight e4. Zenchess, thanks for more bits. Zenchess is in third place with 13 bits, the lucky 13. We're going to shut down the stream in a moment. I just wanted to look at this for a minute. White's development is a little bit laggy. So I have knight coming in here. This is a powerful threat. White has to play like bishop e1. And then I can even take a pawn on c4. So it's kind of unconvincing. To say the least, like white doesn't have any development really to speak of. Alright, so I guess I was never really in any danger, but I certainly was on the clock trying to remember. But it looks like I'm supposed to play this mystery move, bishop e6, which I have seen before. So the real experts playing bishop e6 here. But generally speaking, people just don't play d takes e. I mean, this just isn't a good move for white. You should just play knight f3. I mean, there's only one good move. Knight f3 is it. You just have to play it. I don't know why this is so bad. Let's see, d5, knight e7. I mean, after e4, it feels like you're transposing to a classical King's Indian. But it's apparently not. Like, if you try to do g6, bishop e2, bishop g7. Korobov versus Rapport here. So the point is that white doesn't have to transpose to the mainline King's Indian, but what other options does he have, you know? It's kind of weird. b4 right away. Accelerated bayonet attack. That's kind of scary. White hasn't even bothered to castle yet. So you can play this accelerated bayonet. a5. Volkov against Miroshnichenko. But in all honesty, like, this very well might be black's best way of playing against knight f3. Okay, you can play the old Indian defense. Or even some kind of King's Indian, excuse me, not there, but, excuse me, knight on bd7, e4, and now you can play the King's Indian with g6. So I have to transpose to a King's Indian. Bob steals the show with 14 bits today. Mel Blanc donated 200 bits. Thank you so much, man. I didn't catch the second one there. 200 bits today. Mel Blanc, second place in the bits cheering. Guys, we're going to be back tomorrow night. I have to end the stream now. Soltigo, thanks for being here. Thanks for moderating. I know that it's hard for you because it's like really late. Okay, guys, listen. Tomorrow night, we're doing the third Panda Arena. It's going to be in honor of me. 7 plus 2 casual rapid chess arena. Okay, so because this is really what the World Championship should be about, you know, playing 7-minute chess, maybe 100 game matches, something like that, in preparation for future World Championships. We're going to have the 7 plus 2 Panda Arena tomorrow night. This is Arena 3, all right, guys, for the Panda Arena Grand Prix. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. It'll be, let's see, 6:30 European time PM, so 6:30 CEST tomorrow night. Lots of love for you guys. Bye bye. Alright guys, you heard it here first. The Panda Arena 3 tomorrow night, 7 plus 2. Attila Turzo's here. Thanks for watching, man. Attila Turzo, International Master from Hungary. We have a strong viewer in the house. We're just ending the stream now, Attila. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Soltigo, for being a moderator. And I will see you guys tomorrow night with the Panda Arena. Bye-bye.